Tonight on KPBS Evening Edition, a San Diego company gets the okay for its weight loss pill, the first one to be approved in 13 years.
The military speaks up about sexual assault within its ranks, and more on the newly elected, the so-called birther Judge Gary Kreep and his threat to investigate the San Diego County Bar Association. That's coming up at the Roundtable.
Also tonight, a small Mexican town gets ready for Sunday's presidential election under the gaze of 1,000 federal troops. And we'll tell you why a San Diego councilman took a leap off a pier today. KPBS Evening Edition starts now. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dwayne Brown. California Supreme Court could weigh in on San Diego's pension reform initiative. The measure's backers want the court to stop a hearing before a state panel next month. The Public Employee Relations Board is scheduled to hear a union complaint that city officials acted improperly in supporting Proposition B, making it illegal. The hearing is scheduled for mid-July. The Supreme Court wants information on the dispute by next week. On a 2-to-1 vote, San Diego teachers have approved a contract deal to rescind layoffs in exchange for concessions. Teachers agreed to defer pay raises and take at least 5 unpaid furlough days. More furlough days could be scheduled if Governor Jerry Brown's tax initiative fails in November. The deal saves nearly 1,500 jobs. San Diego Unified beat the state graduation rate last year and had the lowest dropout rate among California's large urban school districts. School officials say one of the keys is tracking student attendance.
Without the principals, the counselors, the teachers, the nurses, the site staff who check in with students who are at risk every day, these gains would not be possible. And that students that are at risk of dropping out in San Diego Unified are monitored and cared for in a way that we see results of that we are not seeing across the state.
Now, 84% of the class of 2011 graduated on time. The district also beat state averages in graduation rates for Hispanic and African American students. The Food and Drug Administration has approved a San Diego company's anti-obesity pill. Arena Pharmaceuticals' weight loss drug is designed for adults who are at least 30 to 50 pounds overweight. Doctors say nearly 35% of adults in the U.S. are obese, and many physicians have been calling on the FDA to approve new weight loss treatments. Arena Pharmaceuticals in Sereno Valley will be the first in more than a decade in the U.S. to market a long-term diet pill.
This is really big news.
Dr. Ken Fujioka is medical director of the Scripps Clinic Center for Weight Management.
I see about 50 patients a week for weight loss, and then probably another 20 or 30 where we're doing research on different types of weight loss methods.
His team in La Jolla also did the majority of testing for Arena Pharmaceuticals' newly approved diet pill, Belvic, also known as Locasirin.
This particular drug has a very specific place. It can be used in patients who have heart disease or who are at risk for cardiovascular problems. So it doesn't stimulate at all, it just simply lowers your appetite.
It's estimated 2/3 of American adults are overweight, and 1/3 are considered morbidly obese. The doctor gave me this prop as an example. It's 5 pounds of body fat. Multiply that by 6 and you come up with 30 pounds of excess weight. Dr. Fujioka says there's no magic in the new diet pill, but the results can be significant over time.
It's not a medication you take by itself and expect to lose weight. You really need to do the other things. You need to diet, you need to exercise, you need to change your behavior. It can be done, and the nice thing is this medication will help that. It'll make it easier to stay on track with the diet.
Arena Pharmaceuticals' new weight loss pill should be available to the public early next year. Another company in the Bay Area is trying to get its diet pill approved by the FDA next month. The State Coastal Commission staff has weighed in on a controversial rope barrier at the children's pool in La Jolla. They say it should stay up all the time to keep folks away from harbor seals on the beach. Right now, it's up only half the year during pupping season. The city wants to make it permanent despite protests from neighbors who say the beach is for people, not seals. The Coastal Commission will consider the issue next month. An environmental group says 2011 was a bad year for water pollution, with California ranking 21st out of 30 states in water quality. The National Resources Defense Council says urban runoff and sewage create the most problems. A city council committee has okayed a proposal to put contracts online and make them easy to read. The Sunshine Law would also require the city to post financial data. It was proposed by San Diego mayoral candidate Carl DeMaio. He says the rule will improve transparency and reduce costs. DeMaio's opponent, Congressman Bob Filner, has been focusing on veterans issues this week. He says the Veterans Administration is broken, with vets facing long waits for disability claims. Filner says the VA should work more like the IRS.
20 years ago or so, the IRS was completely dysfunctional. You didn't know where your return was or when you would get your refund. Now, when you filed your 1040 on April 15th, and if you had a refund coming, you would get it back in 3 weeks, guaranteed. How did they change from one dysfunctional agency to a very modern and efficient one?
Representative Filner says disability payments should be made immediately, with audits after the payments. A new report on sex abuse in the Marine Corps finds 1 out of 5 assaults took place in San Diego County last year. Joanne Farian has that story from the Roundtable.
The U.S. Marine Corps reports 346 sexual assaults across the nation, with 76 of them reported at bases here in San Diego. Let's break down those numbers. 64 assaults were reported at Camp Pendleton. At MCAS Miramar, 3 were reported, and at MCRD San Diego, 9. Joining me to discuss how this issue is addressed for local veterans is my guest, Dr. Carolyn Allard. Dr. Allard is a military sexual trauma coordinator at the MST Clinic at the VA in San Diego. Thanks for being here, Dr. Allard.
Thanks for having me.
Now, there are concerns and reports that suggest these numbers are much higher, that this really is only a tip of the iceberg. Do you see that in your research as well?
Definitely. It's really hard to know exactly what the numbers are because there's so much underreporting. People tend to not report it while, when it happens or even after the fact. But the numbers that we have at the VA is we screen everybody. This may be at their first meeting, but what we're looking at is a rate of 24% of women and about 1.2% of men report to their provider that they have experienced military sexual trauma in the past.
And is that rate higher than in the civilian community?
Well, that particular rate is not necessarily higher, that rate that we get from the screenings, but the research that uses more confidential and anonymous ways of reporting actually gets higher numbers, higher rates. And so when you look at all of those numbers together, it does suggest that there is a higher rate of incidence of sexual assault, sexual harassment in the military than in the civilian population.
Now, you work here in San Diego at MST, so Military Sexual Trauma Clinic. Who comes to your clinic? What are you seeing?
So we see a whole wide range of ages. We see folks, for men and women, various branches. So we can have somebody who experienced maybe military sexual trauma last year, just returned from deployment and are seeking services, and up to somebody who's in their 80s and experienced military sexual trauma decades ago and finally learned about the services or realized that the impact it's had on them and decided to get some treatment.
We're using the term military sexual trauma. Are we talking about, we're talking about sexual assault and then sort of the trauma that follows, or why are we using that term?
It's a pretty it's a confusing term, so I'm really glad that you asked that. Military sexual trauma does include sexual harassment that is threatening, so that it can include so what we call command rape, which is being pressured into sexual favors by somebody who has some control, some power over you. It also includes what you might more typically think of as sexual assault, where physical force is used. But it certainly, what's traumatic about it certainly encompasses sort of what happens after. If you do report, how is that received? The fact that you may not feel comfortable to report and you're sort of left with this and sort of internalizing it and left with sort of a shattered sense of who you are and who your brotherhood is and your sisterhood is. So, it's very all-encompassing sort of term that includes all of those things that do contribute to the trauma.
We hear often about post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, as well. Is there some crossover in terms of the symptoms, the signs that you see in terms of this kind of trauma?
Yes, and definitely. So military sexual trauma refers to the event. and sort of the aftermath and the reaction. But PTSD is what can happen to you if you do experience a trauma. And in fact, and it's sort of the distress, it's the mental health issue and how it impacts your life. And in fact, military sexual trauma is a high risk type of trauma for developing PTSD. And it's more, you've got more of a risk of developing PTSD following a military sexual trauma than you might even following a combat trauma, what you might more readily associate with PTSD, or even civilian sexual trauma. Military sexual trauma puts you at higher risk than any of those trauma for developing PTSD.
And how does combat come into play in terms of this? If there's a higher rate of this kind of trauma in the military, does combat situations at all play a role in all of this?
There's one research article that did look at sort of the rates of MST that occurred during combat times or in combat areas and deployed areas, and the rates do seem to be higher during those times.
The reason we're talking about this today, the Navy released recently a report, and the report is worded fairly strongly, saying we have to do something about this. You know, this has been going on for too long, but it doesn't talk a lot about consequences. And also, we hear that this is something the military has known about for a long time. Are you seeing, you know, at the ground level, any a difference? Are people reporting it more? Is something happening when they do report it? Are we making any headway in this issue?
That's a tough question for me to answer because I'm not privy to exactly what the DoD is doing. I get the same information you get. I get the independent reports that are looking at what they have done so far that came out last year. And while there was a lot of lip service, a lot of attention, they even introduced offices with sexual assault responders, and I think that's all wonderful, but there hasn't been a lot of follow-through in terms of looking at what the impact of those things has been on the numbers. And as you mentioned, sort of the attention to, you know, punishing or sort of prosecuting perpetrators. I haven't not seen evidence of that sort of being given this sort of attention it needs.
Where can people get help if they want to know more about this?
They can come to the VA. They can call my office. If they just Google military sexual trauma, VA San Diego, they will get my information, and they can call me up, and I will get them enrolled and started.
Great. And I also want to send people to our website, kpbs.org, because we'll also have all of those links there as well.
Fantastic.
Dr. Eller, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
The little town of San Fernando, Mexico made headlines with the discovery of mass graves holding hundreds of innocent civilians brutally murdered in drug cartel conflicts. Mexico's answer was to militarize the town. In part 2 of our series, The Border and the Mexican Ballot, Fronteras reporter Michelle Morisco looks at voting when a town's under military occupation.
Commander Juan Ramos and his unit patrol San Fernando in small convoys, usually 4 to 5 cops per truck, each in a black tactical uniform and body armor, a combat helmet, and a long automatic rifle. There is no local police force. It was disbanded when this town started making headlines. We wanted to know why that happened. He won't say why. In fact, most of his answers are curt. San Fernando lies about 150 miles south of Texas, along a lonely highway bordered by endless crop fields of sorghum grass reddening in the steamy heat. It's one of those highways known for narcobloqueos, roadblocks manned by drug gangs looking for rivals or victims. Even Mexico's toughest reporters are reluctant to come here. Get in, do your job, leave immediately. That was their advice. With 60,000 people, it's laid out like many Mexican towns. People sit in the plaza in the shade of small trees in the tall steeple of the church. It's calm, quiet, not a city that would normally enter into one's mind when we think of Mexico's drug wars. But in 2010, it began. Soldiers found 72 bodies buried in a mass grave. Then a year later, again. San Fernando has become the type of town analysts speak of when they refer to the threat of a failing state. Local police were no help, so the country turned to its military to establish order and its state police to do local policing. Now the town is under armed guard 24 hours a day. Locals avert their eyes. Checkpoints bottle up the highways leading into the city from the south. Yet somehow, this town is going to have to vote in 2 weeks. Father Hilario del Pozo Noyola says San Fernando's become Satanized. The military, he says, has been effective, but it's not a long-term solution.
Hay que buscar que se tengan las autoridades adecuadas.
San Fernando needs its own police force and prosecutors and a local justice system.
La Procuraduría.
The Conservative PAN Party's campaign office is next door. Francisco Quintanilla is the PAN's campaign manager here.
Tenemos que apoyar la política del presidente Calderón.
He says the PAN will continue Calderón's economic and security policies.
Económica y de seguridad.
Right now, that means the military. Locals are reluctant to speak on camera here, but one man, Jose Galvan, tells me on tape that he's voting for Enrique Peña Nieto, the PRI candidate.
Debe de cambiar radicalmente.
He says Mexico needs a radical change. The PAN started a war against a people who were not hurting locals, only each other, he says. For Mexico, he says, it's time to start acting like a developed nation again.
The former head of the Utility Consumers Action Network is starting a new group. Michael Shames left UCAN amid charges of mismanagement. His new group is called San Diego Consumers Action Network. He wants state permission to represent San Diego gas and electric customers during hearings about rate increases. Shames' request says SD-CAN is a successor to UCAN, a claim his former company denies. More now on our coverage of presumptive Superior Court Judge Gary Kreep. He narrowly defeated County Prosecutor Garland Peede in the primary election. Joanne has more at the roundtable.
Gary Kreep is the newly elected San Diego Superior Court judge who has serious doubts about the citizenship of President Barack Obama. Kreep is, in fact, a national leader in the so-called birther movement. About a month before the primary election, the San Diego County Bar Association issued a press release which said Gary Kreep was not qualified to be a judge. Here's a clip from Kreep last week responding to that rating.
There's a lot of bigoted people out there, including San Diego County Bar Association, who
said that you were not qualified.
Yeah, but they did it on the basis that you can't be pro-life and you can't oppose same-sex marriage and be a judge. That's what they told me. That's a religiously bigoted statement which will be further investigated by me, and I'm going to move forward on that.
Joining me now is the president of the San Diego County Bar Association, Marvin Mizell. Marvin, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So Mr. Kreep believes his lacking qualifications rating was based on prejudice. How do you respond to that?
Well, first, to explain the process, the county bar was founded in 1899. It's the largest bar association in San Diego County. Since 1978, some 34 years, the county bar has fairly and accurately evaluated candidates for contested judicial elections. And the first thing to remember is that the candidates are not judged against each other in the same race. They're actually looked at individually by the committee.
So how are they judged? What's the process?
Well, the process, first of all, there's 21 people on the committee. And that committee is a fair cross-section of the legal community. You have civil and criminal practitioners, you have government and non-government attorneys, as well as, you know, a fair cross-section of how long they've been practicing. Now, what happens is there are 19 factors that are taken into account. And I won't go through all 19 of those factors, but the one thing I will say is when you look at those factors, political belief or religious belief are not included. We have never evaluated someone based on political or religious belief. And that did not happen here.
Some of those factors, I know you ask other lawyers about the temperament, intellect, and ability, knowledge of the law, and so on. Those are some of the reasons or criteria which you list as ways these judges are judged.
Correct.
Now, in terms of the rating, we see the ultimate, lacking qualifications, but do we know why? Does the public get to see this is why we rated in the way we did?
No, it's a confidential rating. Each member of the JEEC, the Judicial Election Evaluation Committee, takes a confidentiality pledge. And so, no, that's confidential, and that does not go out into the public. And that's the way we keep it so that the process is actually proper.
Does Gary Kreep get to see why he got this rating?
Gary Kreep would have been informed of why he got the rating, and he would have been able to appeal, which he in fact did. And so he got to appeal. Anyone who gets a lacking in qualifications rating gets that appeal before the entire committee.
Now, we've had a lot of reaction from our audience about, wow, I didn't really know about this person before I voted. How do people get access to this rating from the from your association?
What we try to do is get it out into out there as much as we can. We put it on our website, we put it on Facebook, we do a press release that is widely distributed. And so from doing that, we try to educate the voter. And that's why we do what we do. It's to try to educate the public, because there's usually little information on judicial candidates.
I know there were 7 candidates that you reviewed. 2 of them got this rating, which is lacking qualifications. Do you know, in recent years, have candidates who received this rating been elected before?
I don't know if we go back in time to 34 years if that's happened. It hasn't happened recently, at least I can say that. This is something that is fairly rare. I think that would be fair to say.
So finally, before we go, we haven't got a lot of time, but Gary Kreep said in that clip he's going to investigate your organization. How do you respond to that?
Well, we have not heard from Mr. Kreep directly since his ratings were put out or after his election, and so there really wouldn't be anything to comment on this time. However, I have not received any information from my committee that would make me think that there's something that would be the basis of a claim. We do believe that this process was fair and unbiased, and again, it was not based on religion, and it was not based on his political beliefs.
Marvin Mizell, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Some young, aspiring lifeguards took a big leap today in San Diego. KPBS Metro reporter Katie Orr has the story.
Hands over your head. 1, 2, 3, step.
Jumping off the beach piers in San Diego is illegal, but every so often it's allowed for a special group of people. That was the case today in Ocean Beach.
I'm super excited. I don't know, this is the best part of the whole camp. I'm really looking forward to it. Big drop, but I'm excited.
14-year-old Aiden Scott is one of about 300 kids planning to make the jump. He's part of the Junior Lifeguards, an organization run by the San Diego City Lifeguards. Lifeguard Chief Rick Wirtz says the program is about teaching kids to be more self-confident and to be more comfortable around the ocean. He says many of the kids receive scholarships to take part in the program, which runs through the summer.
One of the passions of the Junior Lifeguard program is to teach kids about swimming, teach them about safety in the ocean. And so we really try to reach out to those kids that don't have much of an opportunity.
But rising administrative costs ate into the scholarship budget this year. So all of the San Diego City Council members kicked in additional funds to make sure the number of scholarships was maintained. Councilman Kevin Faulkner represents Ocean Beach. He says the Junior Lifeguard program is important for kids in San Diego.
Get kids down to the water, see what the beach is about, learn about water safety. And as you can tell by looking at the kids behind me, they're loving it and they're having a great time.
1, 2, 3, step.
But Faulkner wasn't just there to support the kids, he was there to jump himself. He joined Lifeguard Chief Rick Wirtz and others in taking the 35-foot plunge from the pier into the 66-degree water below. And his jump was followed by excited kids, including 14-year-old Aiden, who was getting more nervous as his jump got closer.
Going last, I wanted to go a little earlier, but I'm excited, getting a little more scary as we go along, but still want to do it.
Still holding strong?
Yeah.
And when his turn came, Aiden climbed up on the large blocks, raised his hands over his head, and stepped off the pier into the churning water below.
Tonight in the Public Square, part 2 of our special coverage of San Diego's port. Investigative news source reporter Brad Racino is following a brand new Volkswagen from the manufacturer in Germany to a buyer in Las Vegas with a stop here in San Diego. Brad is documenting the car's journey to measure the economic impact of the port.
Thousands of cars waiting to be shipped out to their final destinations are parked in the National City Marine Terminal lot. They were all unloaded from the Jinsei Maru just yesterday. The guy that's come to take them all away is Alberto Gutierrez. He lives in Chula Vista and has been a professional driver for more than a decade.
So, I'm going to set it right there on the number 4. Okay.
He's got a list of the cars he's loading onto his truck, and he works at a frantic pace. Hurrying through the lot, he plucks one car after another. He hops in, drives a few hundred feet, and then loads each onto the bed of his wagoner's truck. Gutierrez takes extra special care with the Golf R. He wipes the wheel rims with his gloved finger, inspects it from every angle, drives it slowly from its parking spot around the lot. He works the hydraulic lifts with the care of a surgeon. He checks and double-checks the safety pins carefully placed throughout the bed's frame. We hit the road around 10:30 a.m., heading north on the 15. A call from my editor warns of a chemical spill near the California-Nevada state line. I tell her I'm sure it'll be cleared up by the time we get there. Nothing could have been further from the truth.
That was investigative news source reporter Brad Racino. Tomorrow in part 3, we'll find out what happened with that chemical spill. If you have a comment or a question, send me an email, jferrian@kpbs.org, or post a comment on Facebook or Twitter.
Thanks for joining us. You have a great night.